What's up YouTube, this is BoxingX99 guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile video. As you can see, we're going to be doing FAs today. Alright, now FAs were a TCG exclusive archetype spanning the Code of the Duelist core sets through the Flames of Destruction core set. So we have the majority of the FA cards we need to build this deck. There's a link out there in the OCG. We don't know when we're going to get it, hopefully soon. But until then, this is what we got, and I can tell you right now, this deck is actually insanely solid. Has a lot of neat tricks to help combat the meta, and I can tell you this right now. Your opponent will not see this coming, and by the time they do, you'll be far ahead in the lead, taking that checkered flag. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it, and we're going to go into the first monster, which is 3 copies of FA Auto Navigator. Okay. FA Auto Navigator is your principal tuner, alright? If she's in your hand or in your graveyard, you can special summon her out by targeting one FA monster whose level is not the same as his original. Okay? What you do then is that you subtract the increased levels from the targeted monster, and Auto Navigator's level becomes that difference. Okay, so if you have a level 4 FA monster that's become a level 7, you special summon, you target that monster, you special summon her out. The FA monster whose level is higher goes back to the original, and Auto Navigator becomes the 3 since the other monster gained 3 levels. Alright, other cool thing about it is that when Auto Navigator is normal or special summon, you get the Searcher's Field spell, and this deck does love its field spells. Alright, so that's why she's got to be a 3. Alright. Next monster in the deck, we have 3 copies of FA Hang-On Mach. Now, Hang-On Mach is one of the best level 4 monsters because 2 reasons. For one thing, all the FA monsters have the ability to gain levels when you activate other FA spells or trap cards. Okay, which is great. Because of that, it powers itself, all those FA monsters power its attacks up 300 times the level. So right now, you normal summon out Hang-On Mach, it'll have 1200 attack. Not bad for level 4. But the real cool thing is that once this card's level gets above level 7, and just like the other FA monsters, it gains extra effects. In this particular case, Hang-On Mach basically banishes any monster that is sent from the field to the graveyard by your opponent. It's a one-sided walking Macrocosmos, similar to that of Masked Hero Dark Lord, which makes it insanely important in this deck, and it's so useful against the meta. Just think about this card against things like Sky Strikers, or the Goki Dark Turbo decks, or even, Danger decks, or even Praying Kids will fall hard to this card. That's why you need this card at 3. Alright. One card that I like to add in, that you don't really see it much of in other decks, is basically FA Sonic Meister. Okay, when it hits level 7 or higher, it has the ability to attack twice. And in my opinion, that's actually extremely important because with the way boards are being built and dropping so many monsters on the board at once, having monsters that can attack multiple times is just perfect. Alright. Next monster. FA Whipcourser, when its level hits 7 or higher, basically your opponent cannot be sending or discarding monsters from their hand to activate effects. Yeah. That's a big FU from the FAs to stuff like Dangers, Burning Abyss, anything that relies on sending monsters from the hand to the grave is just awesome, and that's the reason why we're running it at 3, because it just stops so much in this current meta. Alright, last but not least, we got 3 copies of FA Dawn Dragster. Alright, now Dawn Dragster is not level 4, but it starts off level 7, which is awesome. It still gains the attack by times 300 by his level, and gains levels whenever it activates FA spell and traps. Cool thing about it is that you can actually reduce his level to actually pop other cards in the field, which is awesome. Downside, you cannot normal summon this card. Yeah, it kind of sucks. You can only special summon it from your hand when you control another FA monster whose level is not the same as his original. And you can't control more than one of these cards in the field, but don't worry about it because this card is more or less in your hand, in the deck, to really help you put a presence on the board, as well as to use for other functions in this deck, as we'll see. Alright, now for some extra spicy tech, one thing I'm going to turn around and do is I'm running Destrudo in this deck. Alright, Destrudo is a Dark Attribute Tuner. It has an effect similar to that of FA Auto Navigator, where you could special summon from the hand in a graveyard. It costs you half a life points, but you could target a level 4, a level 6 or level monster, and then you can reduce this monster's level by that monster you targeted, which is awesome. So you get that one tuner that you need to get into a particular move. Alright, it goes back to the bottom of the deck instead of going to the graveyard, which is just awesome. So I like having it around. Just one copy is all you need. I also run a Machina package. I run 2 copies of Machina Gear Frame and 2 copies of Machina Fortress. Alright, now Machina Gear Frame is used to search out Machina Fortress, and then you can equip Machina Gear Frame to Machina Fortress to basically make it even better on the field. It can't be destroyed by card effects, stuff like that. And it just makes the card a lot more problematic. I mean, Machina Fortress was a problematic card when it first came out. It's still a problematic card, because whenever this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, guess what? It takes another card with it. So yeah, if your opponent swings into it with a Burrow Sword looking to OTK you, it's going to take Burrow Sword with it. If your opponent's Burrow Sword targets it with its effect, guess what? After effect's resolution, you're going to... Machina Fortress is going to turn around and rip a card out of your opponent's hand, just making this card so much more of a pain to deal with. Is worth it. Okay. And the last card I like, because we have Winds and Darks in this deck. That's right, I played 1 copy of Dark Simorgh. Banish a Dark Attribute monster like Dark Dragster, and a Wind Attribute monster like any of the other FA monsters. And guess what? You can special summon this guy to the field. And while he's facing on the field, your opponent's not setting any cards. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically, if you're thinking in terms of Altergeist, they're not setting their back row, which means no Multi-Faker. Yeah. Or if you do against Sky-Strikers, yeah, Multi-Roll becomes useless. So good. So good. Alright, for the spells, like I said before, this deck loves its field spells, and we're running 2 of them. Alright, the first one is the FA City Grand Prix, and this is the better of the 2 that we're running in this deck. Basically, it ups the levels of all your FA monsters by 2 during the main phase and the battle phase, which is important. Alright, it also makes it so your FA monsters can't be targeted by card effects, which is just so good for this deck. And last but not least, all FA field spells have the ability, if it's destroyed by card effect, guess what? You're searching out another FA monster or card from your deck to your hand. So yeah, this thing floats. Well, actually it doesn't float, it searches, but still, you get the idea. Alright, last but the second FA spell card, field spell card, is FA All-4 Grand Prix. Alright, now this only bumps your FA monsters levels up by 2 during the main phase only. I know, it kind of sucks because you don't get a battle boost, but still, if one of your, it has 2 effects. If one of your FA monsters is destroyed by battle, guess what? You're taking a card out of your opponent's hand, which is just great. And just like Grand Prix, if it's popped itself, you get to search an FA card from your deck to your hand, which is just awesome. Alright. Of course, we have 2 of the quick plays. The first one is FA Pit Stop. Now, this is basically draw power and a monster reborn combined in 1. Okay, so when you activate this card in the field, you get to draw a card equal to the number of other pit stops you have in your graveyard plus 1. So if you don't have any pit stops, you can be drawing 1 card. If you have 1 pit stop, you draw 2. If you have 2, you draw 3. You get the idea. While this card's in the graveyard, but not the turn you sent it there, you can banish it from your graveyard, target one of your FA monsters that is in the graveyard, and special summon it to the field. That's why it's a Monster Reborn. So good to have, to give you consistency and get monsters back in the field. It's just crazy that they have both effects on this card, and that's the reason why I love running it at 3. Alright, the other card you want to be seeing is this one. FA Test Run. Okay, basically what's going to happen is that you could target one of your FA monsters, change its battle position, and guess what? you can destroy a card on the field. And then while it's in the graveyard, you can banish the card, target one of the cards you control, change another one of your FA monsters' battle position, and then pop another card that you control. So typically, whatever you're going to do is that if you're using this card's graveyard effect, you're going to be going after your field spell to get that search. Alright. To help get things going for this deck, I have Foolish Burial. This is just great to get a Aura Navigator or a Destrudo into the graveyard. If you already know, if you have Dark Simorgh waiting in your hand, you can get a Dark Attribute monster like Dark Dragster into the graveyard very fast. It just opens up so many plays. Alright, and to help get those quick play spells into the graveyard so you can get those extra effects, you have 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. It just works so well with the quick plays to be able to get those extra draws off a pit stop and set up a potential monster board on future turns. Alright, speaking of monster reborn, you can't run a deck without that, so ultimate combo extender. I also include Raigeki to help clear the boards, just in case you want an OTK. And then set rotation, give yourself 1 field spell, give your opponent the other one. You can pop the other one your opponent gives you, get that search. Just so awesome. And then, of course, 2 copies of Terraforming if we don't have enough search power already. Alright. On to the extra deck. I run 2 copies of FA Dawn Dragster. This is your key spell and trap negation. It's pretty easy to get out since it's a level 7. Most of the time you're going to be bringing out Aura Navigator when your monsters are at least level 7, so you could be getting a level 7 Synchro. When your opponent activates a spell, trap, or effect, you can negate that card's activation by reducing this card's level by 2, and because it's an FA monster, it gains more levels when you activate other spells while it's on the field, so it gives you a lot more negations. Alright. I'm also running 2 copies of FA Motorhome Transport. Oh boy. This guy is the beefy synchro of the deck. Basically, you get this thing above level 11. Your opponent can't use any card effects to get over it. And then, if it's over level 13, you can target 1 FA monster in your graveyard and special summon it to the field. So it acts like a monster reborn. I mean, the thing's already huge. It's an FA monster who can get even huger with activating more spells. It's just worth having. Alright, some other synchros to back things up. Since level 7s are pretty easy to do, I like controlling the board with things like Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. Opponent summons a level 5 or higher monster, you can bounce it right back to the opponent's hand. Just awesome to have. It helps you control the field and prevent your opponent from going a bit more crazy than usual. Also have Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Awesome card to have. It doesn't target, but it can get cards off your opponent's field, out of your opponent's graveyard, and out of your opponent's hand, so that it does make it a devastating card to play. Alright, for the Xyz, I'm actually running 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Dragosek. It's easy to go into rank 7s in this deck, so that's why I'm running Dragosek in this. It can create 2 tokens. Those tokens can be used to further link up the ladder. You could actually use those tokens for synchro summoning. One great play would be to turn around and summon out Destrudo targeting one of those tokens. It become or a level 6 monster. Excuse me, a lower level 4 monster, and then Destrudo comes out as a level 3. You could then synchro Destrudo with both the tokens to get out Trish. I mean, it opens up a lot of different plays. 2 tokens make this card indestructible, and it gives you spot removal as well, so it's just an overall great card to have. Okay, of course, I do run Galaxy Tomahawk as well. Yeah, that combo is in this deck. Basically, you go 2 level 7s into this card, then tap both 7s, flood your field with tokens. This +1 token will give you a Qwilforth Genius. Then you take 2 of those other tokens to create Proxy Dragon. You're left with 2 tokens, so you spend 1 of those tokens for a Link Spider. And then you use the remaining token, the Link Spider, the Proxy Dragon, and Qwilforth Genius to link up into Saruja Skulldread, which will then basically allow you to draw 4, fix your hand, stack the bottom of your deck, and just be completely and totally awesome. Alright, and the other two floors I'm running the Burrow Brothers. Burrow Dragon, Burrow Sword Dragon. Burrow Dragon helps break up boards. Burrow Sword Dragon helps OTK your opponent, so that's why they're in there. Guys, that's it for my FA deck profile for January 2019. As always, if you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to hit subscribe, enable notifications, so you don't miss a single upload. And guys, until next video, peace!